All right, welcome to Tech Tuesday, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Before we dive in, I want you to go ahead and locate that chat box and let me know in the chat box what is one way you feel when you hear the words artificial intelligence or AI. Do you feel excited? Do you feel nervous? Or do you feel curious? Whatever the case may be, go ahead and let me know in the chat box how you feel about AI. Nervous and curious, 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 curious. Okay. Excited, hopeful. All of the above. Okay. All right, fair enough. So, I am Daisy. I am from Palm Beach County, and I am one of the IPDA trainers. And in Palm Beach County, I work as an operations specialist for the Department of Adult and Community Education with the School District of Palm Beach County. And I also am an adjunct professor at Florida Atlantic University. So basically, everything that I am about to share with you today, I have tried it, tested it. It is teacher tested, student approved. So, yeah, I do want to add though, I am feeling a little bit under the weather today. So please excuse me if I need to mute myself for a second here or there to cough or sneeze. All right. Thank you for understanding. But other than that, I'm excited to share some practical time-saving AI strategies with you today. So, and feel free to connect with me after the session. My info is right there on the screen for you. And here are a few housekeeping items before we begin. You are in listen-only mode. If you have questions, type them into the Q&A box anytime. I will do my best to pause throughout the session to address them. If not, I'll take a moment towards the end of the session to look at them and address your questions. And this session is being recorded and it has already been posted. The slides have already been posted on IPDA's website, so make sure you check those out as well. And we're going to begin our session with our agenda for today. So here's our roadmap, right? So we will warm up with an icebreaker, and then I'll briefly tell you what AI is, so a little bit about AI. Then we'll explore how AI supports teaching and learning. And then we'll try out some educator-friendly AI tools. And we're going to end today's session with some actionable resources. So get ready today. All of this is going to be hands-on. All right. Okay, so the objective. By the end of today, you'll walk away with tools you can use right away. Let me just put it that way, okay? And I really truly hope that you walk away super excited about at least one tool or strategy you will see during today's session. All right, so now at this time, here's a quick challenge for you guys. Think of a current classroom task that takes you way too long, whatever it may be, whether it's lesson planning or grading or, think of any of your classroom tasks that takes you way too long and let me know in the chat box what that is. And I hope that we'll get to come back to some of these things that you're about to enter in the chat box and see how AI can help us with those. So far I've got planning, grading essays, developing lessons. Okay, good. That's all on my list today. All right, lesson planning for multiple levels. Okay, differentiating instruction. All right, so thank you guys for sharing those in the chat box. Now we're going to go ahead and get started with our icebreaker. And for icebreaker, what we're going to do is we are going to, nope, not share. We are going to go ahead and we are going to go ahead and use a Menti. So basically what I want you to do at this time is go to menti.com. So that's the link that you see at the top of your screens. And then right next to it, there is a code. And that code is 5799 1774. So you are going to go to menti.com and you're going to enter that code. And when you do so, you'll see this first question that I want you to answer. And that's what we're going to do. All right. So when you hear AI in education, what's the first word that comes to mind? So it looks like some of you are saying prompts, some of you are saying editing, inaccurate, cheats. All right. And you know what? It's great to see all of these because we're going to be talking about almost everything that's appearing on that word cloud right now. Assistance. Okay. That is certainly good to see. And the fact that the word assistance is in the center of the word cloud in those big bold letters, that means it just happens to be one of the most popular answers today. Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on to our next question here. And that question is, in one word, describe your current relationship with technology. And this doesn't necessarily mean just AI, anything technology. Are you extremely tech savvy or what is happening? All right, just let me know. Okay, fair enough. Comfortable, somewhat evolving. Besties, okay. Uncomfortable. All right, looks like comfortable happens to be one of the top answers today, which is good because we are utilizing technology right now, and we're going to be utilizing several different tools throughout this session. So, next up, if AI could do one thing for you as a teacher, what would you choose? Plan lessons for me, or grade my papers, or handle all my emails, or inspire me with new ideas? All right, so it looks like majority of you are saying inspire with new ideas. Now, of course, as instructors, if we were in the classroom, we would not be moving to the next slide here, right? We know that pie charts and several other like bar graphs and things are part of our curriculum. So I would, at this time, pause and ask my students those WH questions to make sure they understand what they see on the screen here, because this is a great way to teach the topic or the concept of a pie chart to students in a non-mathematical way, right? Talking about bar graphs, here's a question for you. How do you feel about using AI in your classroom? You might be using it for planning purposes to design your lessons and things, but how do you feel about using AI in your classrooms with your students? Excited and ready. Not sure where to start. Okay, you're in the right place then. Curious but cautious, a little nervous. All right. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next question here. What kind of AI user are you? Like, have you already been using it? Are you a little skeptical? Let me know. I'm just watching for now. Okay. Tried a few times. All right. So we have a lot of explorers on this webinar today, and you have tried a few different tools already. Okay. Moving right along. What's one teaching task you wish AI could help with? And if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be an open-ended question where you're expected to type in your answers. Grammar videos, write a response for a grant, creating creative lessons, practice problems. Okay. Grading papers. Uh-huh. Thinking outside the box. All right, a lot of grammar requests here. Okay, good to see that. And here's another question. If AI were a teacher's assistant, what would its name be? So just imagine you have your own personal AI bot. What are you going to call it? That's the question, okay? What are you going to call your AI bot? Mr. Bean, interesting. Okay. Now, if I were in the classroom asking an open-ended question like this, I would again pause and ask my students follow-up questions. So, for example, who put Mr. Bean and why? Go ahead and let me know, kind of deal, right? But for the sake of time right now, I am going to move on to the next question. And this happens to be our last question for our mentee. Complete the sentence. So, with AI, teaching can be more what? And there are no wrong or right answers here. This is a safe space. Just let me know how you feel about AI. Great answer. Innovative. Time efficient. Absolutely. Tailored. Adventurous. Efficient. Engaging. All right. Looks like engaging was the popular answer here today. All right. So with that, I just want to thank you all for participating in our mentee today, but don't go anywhere. This session's just getting started. I am going to go back to my slides here from current slide. All right, here we go. So what is AI? AI sounds complicated. I know some of you already mentioned that you were afraid of using it and whatnot, but here's a simple version, right? It's technology designed to think in smart ways using patterns, not feelings or intuition. All right. So, excuse me there. A quick flashback here for you. AI didn't appear overnight. It has actually been evolving for decades from like rule-based systems to today's generative tools like ChatGPT. So at this time, what I want you to do is think about 2018, right? So we're talking about pre-pandemic times and ask yourself, how different was your teaching 5 or 6 years ago? Before the pandemic and all. Now imagine 5 years from today. Where do you think we're going to be, right? So that's the power of AI right there. And some of you may not realize it, but you interact with AI almost every single day, even if you don't notice it. So think about Siri on your Apple iPhones, right? Or if you want to find a restaurant, or when you use social media platforms like Facebook that recommend your friends, or on an iPhone or an email, when you get word predictions, like what your next word should be while you're typing a text or writing an email, or when Netflix gives you a suggestion, right? Like, hey, you've been watching this, you just finished this season, we think you would like this. All of that is AI in action. All right. And I just want to go ahead and ask, which of these do you use the most? Do you use smart devices, shopping apps, any health tech or transportation tools? Go ahead and let me know in the chat box. Smart devices, yep, whether it's your iPhone, your Google Home, your Alexa at home, whatever the case is, you're using AI on a daily basis. All right, thank you for keeping the conversation going in the chat box. So this is how AI learns with 4 simple steps. First is data gathering. AI collects lots of examples and information. Second is model design. Developers build the brain that will process the data. Third is your learning phase. This is where AI practices on millions of examples and adjusts as it improves. And last but not least, we have evaluation and optimization. This basically says that AI is tested, it's refined, and updated to be more accurate and helpful with every single use. Okay, so this cycle is how AI keeps learning and improving to better support users. And AI does mimic human intelligence. So when we learn to use AI effectively with fidelity, it helps us streamline our work and makes our lives easier. AI is a partner, all right? It is not a threat. And I will say that again, AI is your friend. It's not a threat. It's not here to take our jobs. Instead, it enhances what we do. It saves times and supports us so we can focus on parts of our work that matter the most. So, what is AI's role in education? Let's go ahead and look at that. So, AI is revolutionizing how we teach and learn, creating unprecedented opportunities for personalized education and empowering educators worldwide. More teachers are using AI today than ever before to save time, personalize instruction, and improve outcomes. And according to the research that you're seeing on the slides right now, AI has transitioned from a futuristic concept to a practical, everyday tool that's actively reshaping educational practices and teacher workflows across America. And these numbers tell the story that AI is not the future. If anything, it's the present. All right. AI gives teachers time to do what only humans can, and that is going to be connecting with students, inspiring our students, and teaching our students. All right. AI doesn't replace educators, it elevates what we can do. So we're shifting from delivering information to guiding deeper thinking. Here's some more data for you. So recent studies reveals that 24% of high school students admit to using AI for cheating, raising serious concerns, right? And I'm glad that some of you had already gone ahead and put in the word cheating in the chat box or in the Menti, because that is one of the concerns that is out there. And I'm going to give you my personal example here. A few years ago, when I first started out teaching at FAU, we were being told as professors that you are to tell your students not to use AI at all because they're going to get if they were to turn in their work, it will flag and, for plagiarism and things like that. And there are going to be consequences. Now, however, there is a shift. Now we're being told to teach our students how to actually cite any AI tools that they're using before they turn in their work. All right, and here are some additional challenges. So let's walk through some of the real world challenges we face when bringing AI into education. And as we go through each one, I want you to think about how these show up in your classroom or at your school sites. What have you been experiencing, right? So the first one, of course, is an integrity question. And like I mentioned, studies show that 24% of at least high school students admit to using AI for cheating and things like that. But here's the deal. We are in a digital age where students have more tools available to them than ever before. And some are great for learning, and some, of course, could be misused. Next one here on the screen is finding balance. AI is powerful, but it can never replace authentic human connection. And you and I both know that. That's never going to happen. And finally, building trust. Adults need to feel safe using technology. They want to know their information is private and that the tools are being used responsibly, right? So our job as educators is to build systems and practices that make students feel confident, protected, and supported. All right, so these challenges aren't just roadblocks, they're reminders that thoughtful integration actually matters. And the more intentionally we address them, the stronger our programs will become. All right. Now on this slide, these numbers highlight AI's power for personalized learning, early intervention, and improved accuracy. So these remarkable outcomes that you see demonstrate how AI-driven personalization is transforming educational effectiveness. AI is unlocking unprecedented levels of individualized education, adapting to each student's unique needs and learning pace. And here are just three of many, 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 like maybe even a million ways AI can support teaching and learning. The first one I have on the screen is AI Content Leveler. So this adjusts reading materials to each student's level instantly. And I'm going to show you a tool that does that. Then we have Insights, AI Insights dashboard. So this gives real-time data and feedback on students' progress and areas needing attention. And the third one here is automated grading. So several AI tools cut grading time dramatically, and I'm just going to show you how ChatGPT does that for me personally, freeing me for real student interaction. All right. And these tools aren't just about doing our jobs for us, they're about letting us do our jobs better. So they free us to teach at a deeper level, connect more with our students, and personalize instruction in ways that used to be impossible before the technology became available. Now, we're going to talk about the tools. So I just want to let you know that no matter how or what your comfort level is, the tools that I am about to share today with you are user-friendly and easily accessible with a free account. It's recommended that you go ahead and create your free accounts for all three tools that I'm about to share with you today. All right. And those tools are going to be, first of all, ChatGPT, which is quite popular. I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, have at least explored that one there. And the other one's going to be Diffit for Teachers. Diffit is actually an AI platform created specifically for teachers. So it actually helps you differentiate instruction easily. And then we have Curipod. Curipod, let's see. If you have ever used if you have ever used like Nearpod and things like that, think of Curipod as the interactive lesson creator that is actually powered by AI. All right, so it's like Nearpod's cousin with AI in it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about ChatGPT first. Uh, So if you're wondering how can I use ChatGPT, it's quite simple. You go ahead and Google the word ChatGPT. It's the first link that's going to become available, or you can scan the QR code that you see on your screens right now. But the idea here is that you would create your free account, and then you want to start with asking a question or providing a prompt. All right. So what is a prompt? Your results depend on your prompt. And think of prompts like recipes. The clearer the instructions, the better the dish. All right. So be specific with your prompts to get better results from any AI platform, not just ChatGPT, that is. And here are a few additional tips. So the tips listed on the slide will save you headaches, really. Give detail, all right? Use multiple prompts and reuse some strong prompts. So for teachers, if you use a specific prompt to create a quiz for Unit 1, go ahead and use the same exact prompt again for Unit 2. Just change the topic and things like that, all right? And I also want to remind you that never ever put students' names or personal information into any AI platforms, okay? We don't want to use any sensitive information. We don't want to put it out there in the AI world. And keep in mind that AI can be wrong. So just like anything else, always double check, all right? Review everything that it provides you with before you project it in front of your classroom or share it with your students. So now I'm going to show you how I actually use ChatGPT. All right. So first of all, let's start with emails. Okay. And at this time, what I want to do is I'm actually going to go to ChatGPT. I'm already logged into my account. This is what it looks like. Where should we begin? Okay. So I am going to say rewrite this email professionally. That's my prompt right now. And I'm going to just make up an email. Hey, dude. What's up? I promise I do not write like this. Okay, this is just for the training purposes. Uh, let's hang this weekend to check out the reports so we can present them to our homies in the office on Monday. All right. Now, as you can see, this is written extremely, it's an informal, unprofessionally written email. And now I'm just going to hit the enter button. And there you have it. Here's a polished professional rewrite. Hi there, I hope you're doing well. Would you be available to meet this weekend to review the reports together? It would be great to go over everything in advance so we are fully prepared to present to the team on Monday. Please let me know what works for you. Best regards. Okay, so as you can see, if you want to polish up your emails, you can certainly use ChatGPT. One of my students, believe it or not, in the classroom was actually using ChatGPT to communicate with a female friend that he met on a dating app, and he was using ChatGPT to rewrite his ideas or thoughts in a flirty way. Okay, so I mean, we're using it professionally, but there are other people out there using it in other ways too. And then the next thing I use it for, and I'm just going to click on new chat here, is for classroom strategies and activities. Someone in the chat box or in one of the mentee slides had mentioned grammar, right? So I'm going to ask it to create a 10 question grammar worksheet on, let's see, can and can't. So we're talking about modals here. I just did this with my students not too long ago. So there you have it. Create a 10 question grammar worksheet on can and can't for adult ELLs because you want to be specific. And within seconds, ladies and gentlemen, you have 10 questions right there. And see what you're seeing here, explanation and example, because I just did this in my class and I did have it create this for me. See on the left side here, it says grammar worksheet creation. I'm going to go there so you can see my initial prompt. This is not what I just did right now. This is from earlier in the week. Create a grammar worksheet for adult ELLs with 10 questions of can or can't activity, but provide one example and explanation. And that's why, as you can see, it went ahead and gave me the explanation for my students, and it also gave my students with an example. And then this happened. There are the questions, fill in the blanks. If you wanted to create multiple choice, you can certainly add that in the prompt and it will do that for you. All right. And then in the bottom, once it provides me with the quiz, it tells me, would you like me to export this into a PDF or a Google Doc or a Word doc? I simply entered Word, and as you can see, within seconds it gave me your Word document is ready. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it and show you what that looks like. There you have it, my friends. Look at it. That's the worksheet that was created within seconds, right? So as an instructor, I don't have to sit there creating these worksheets and plans for hours on end. I can just do this. So this way I have more time to actually interact with my students and teach them these skills and things like that, right? So there you have it. So I use it for that purpose as well, to create classroom activities and things like that. I use it for quizzes. I have it create rubrics for me. So if we're doing like a presentation or essay writing, I will have ChatGPT create a rubric for me so I can provide that to my students ahead of time so they know exactly what's expected of them. Grading and providing feedback. Now, that is one of the things that I use ChatGPT for. Let me see if I can do this right now. So if you have your students that are submitting assignments on Canvas or Blackboard or something, you can copy and paste their their text right here and ask it to look for any grammatical errors, punctuation errors. If you had anything specific you wanted them to do, you make sure you include that as well, and it will go ahead and correct it for you. It will provide you with feedback. So then you can go ahead and post that feedback onto Canvas or Blackboard. But one thing I will say is you don't just want to copy and paste it, right? You want to personalize it a little bit so your students know that you actually read their work and you're trying to connect with them like that. So what I'm trying to do right now, I'm going to try to find something for you so I can show you how that works. And in the meantime, I also want to say, I want to point out this little plus button. Do y'all see this add button here? You can add a photo or a file. So for example, if you have a student write an essay in class, a 5-paragraph essay, right? You can take a picture of that essay. You upload it into ChatGPT and you let it know what it is that you're looking for. So for example, make sure you highlight any grammatical errors, any punctuation errors. Also, this was a compare contrast essay. So make sure the student, understood that and did what they were supposed to do. Make sure there's an indent. Make sure that, they use their transition words, so on and so forth. And when you do that, it will actually go ahead and highlight everything for you and provide you with feedback, extensive feedback, that is, okay? Letting you know what the student missed, what they did, and what they need to still work on, kind of deal. At this time, what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and share this screen with you so you see where it's coming from. This is directly from Canvas. All right. So basically, this is a prompt where the student was told to write about a country they want to visit. So I can copy and paste this. This is my student's work right here. And I'm going to say, please review this paragraph and provide feedback. Check for any grammatical and punctuation errors. All right, and let's see what happens. So as you can see, first it starts out with overall feedback, how your writing is clear, organized, and easy to understand. Then it kind of tells you, here are some things that you need to work on, suggested revisions, right? Then if you scroll down, it breaks it down by paragraph. And it also provides you with a polished version. So you can copy and paste this into the feedback section of your Canvas shell. Like, hey, great job. I read about this. Very exciting. Or you did good here. These are the things you need to work on. And here's a version that I wrote for you, kind of deal. So as you can see, it grades your stuff for you as well. And I'm not kidding. If you have like a full-on 5 paragraph essay that is handwritten, because you and I both know sometimes it's difficult to read certain students' handwriting. It's not quite legible. You just go ahead and take a picture of it, post it on ChatGPT, and it'll do the work for you. All right. One of the other things that I recently used ChatGPT for, writing a letter of recommendation for my student. Of course, I did not put in the student's name or anything like that in ChatGPT, but I said, write a letter of recommendation for a student that was with me in spring of 2024. I added the position that the student was applying for, the company that the student was applying for, and I, of course, added some additional things that I knew personally about the students, that particular student, how he came to class on time, worked well with peers, turned all his assignments in a timely manner, asked questions, was always willing to communicate and collaborate in the classroom, kind of deal. And within seconds, it gave me the full-on letter of recommendation. I didn't have to do anything other than, of course, adding my personal touches to it before sharing it with my student and the company. All right. And here's the best part. He got the job, everybody. So just wanted to share that with you. All right, so that is ChatGPT for you. Now, in the chat box, I want you to let me know, what have you used ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini for before? What is something that you do that I didn't go over with you today? So in the chat box, you are going to let me know how you have utilized ChatGPT, Copilot, or Gemini, or any other AI platform that you use at your school sites. What do you use it for? To create PowerPoints, okay. Um, Plans, ask your resources, create lesson plans and projects. Okay, all right. Those are all excellent answers, so keep them coming my way. Translation, translating documents, using it to grade GED essay responses. All right. Okay. Thank you for the collaboration that's happening in the chat box. But for the sake of time, at this time, I will move on to the next tool that I want to share with you. And I'm going to go ahead and share this link in the chat box. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is called Diffit. Okay, this is Diffit for teachers. When you come to this page, you want to click on Try Diffit, and you can go ahead and create your free accounts. Now, what you're about to see today, it is absolutely free. All right. There is a paid version, just like ChatGPT. There's a paid version to Diffit for teachers as well. But what I use it and what I'm about to show you today, it is completely free. So first of all, this is what the main page looks like when you log into Diffit. All right. And you can type in the prompt. Let's see, what am I going to do? Today, let's talk about Thanksgiving, right? Next week is Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to put the word Thanksgiving in the chat box. I mean, in the box here. And then here, there are language options, English, Spanish, Mandarin, so on and so forth. But we're going to stick to English. And then the grade level, this is built for K to 12. So we've got kindergarten through 11th grade or higher. Now, if you do teach a lower level ESL class, perhaps you want to start at a lower level. If you teach IET, CTE, GED, maybe you want to try the 11th grade level. And this works for any topic. Okay, I do have to say this. It doesn't matter if you're talking about nutrition or if you're talking about an open heart surgery. I've tried it every way and it works just fine for any topic. All right. But for right now, we're going to do Thanksgiving, third grade. And anytime on Diffit you see this gold crown, that means that feature is only available with the paid version. So obviously I can't do any of this because it's all with the paid version, but there is a depth of knowledge. So I'm just going to go ahead and select it anyway. All right. Third grade depth of knowledge. All right. And then so basically, I went ahead and entered the topic. I selected the language and the reading level. We don't even have to worry about skills and standards unless you are going to upgrade and get the paid version. But with this, you can just go ahead and click on Generate Resources. And there you have it. So we have a picture prompt that becomes available, right? And this is for the third grade level. Then we have the reading paragraphs. We have a summary. We have a vocabulary, and not just words and definitions, but also example sentences provided to us. Then we have multiple choice questions, short answer questions, think, pair, and share. So now all of these activities were created for you within seconds, and you can click on this button that reads Browse Activities, and it shows you what other infographic or worksheet it is that you can use with the same content that it provided us with. So if you see this, for example, the crown, again, it's premium, so we can't do this, but any other questions, vocabulary, multiple choice, open-ended, like all of these other things are available to you for free. Okay. And then the best part is you can export these into any other platform, whether it's Google Slide, Google Doc, PowerPoint, okay, Microsoft Word, all of it, as long as you have your paid account. With the free one, I have to say, and I'm going to show it to you actually. If you click on that green export button at the top right corner of the screen, you can either print this so you have a packet or a worksheet ready for your students to work on for Thanksgiving, or you can download it as a PDF. All right. So what I do, or what I have done in the past, is I will download it as a PDF, and then I will change that PDF into a Word doc and then edit it and personalize it. All right, but there you have it. As you can see it on your screen, that is your PDF version of what it created for me for Thanksgiving within seconds. And the best part is this. I'm going to go back to my Diffit screen. See right here, we have the content, but say I have a couple students in class that are extremely high level, because as you know, all ESL classes are multi-level, even when you're teaching like just the level 3 class, right? So this makes differentiating instruction easier because I'm going to change the grade level now. I'm going to make it 10th grade. Why not? And I'm going to have it regenerate this for me. So I can provide my lower level students with what we had already seen, and a couple of my advanced students will get what we are about to see in the next minute or so here. There you have it. We have the same picture prompt, but as you can see, the text is slightly different and more extensive. It kind of goes on. Then we have our summary. We have vocabulary that is more challenging. Then we have our multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and all of that. So again, Diffit for teachers makes it easier for you to differentiate instruction. And think about it, if you have a substitute teacher in your classroom, right? Excuse me. You can go ahead and create packets with this, like right, maybe just that morning before you're calling out sick. All right. So this makes lesson planning and all of that easier. And I want to show you one more feature. So I'm going to go back to the main page right here. All right. So as instructors, we know that a lot of mainly our ESL students, they are visual learners, right? So say you found a quality clip on YouTube, like this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this link. Okay. This is about
To most Americans, the Pilgrims of Plymouth, Massachusetts are the iconic inspiration for today's Thanksgiving feast.
All right, so this clip is about Thanksgiving. So you want to go ahead and show this to your students in the classroom. And then what you can do is you come to this, all right, this page, and you go ahead and click on this part where it's the tab that reads text, PDFs, YouTube, and links. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then I am simply going to go ahead and paste that link that I just copied from YouTube. And you can change the same thing. You can select your grade level, the language and whatnot. This time around, I'm going to do 5th grade. Why not? All right. And then I'm going to click on generate resources. I see in the chat box, some of you are saying we are encouraged to use Copilot. Listen, that is great. You always want to make sure you're using what's allowed at your school sites or within your districts, okay? I am sharing these tools with you because I'm okay with using these, whether it's in the district or at the university. We're okay if we use these. But if your district is expecting you to use Copilot or Gemini over ChatGPT, you certainly go ahead and do that, whatever works best for you. Now, as you can see on my screen now, I copied and pasted that link from YouTube, and it went ahead and gave me the script. Long ago, people called the Pilgrims came to America, all right, based on what your students heard and saw in the clip. And then we have the summary, same concept. We got the vocabulary, we got multiple choice questions, short answers, think, pair, and share. We got a flowchart map here, all right? And as you can see, you can go ahead and easily post this into your Google Classrooms. If you want this to go ahead and use this content and put it in PowerPoint or Google Slides, it will do that for you too. You just have to pay extra for it. All right. But I just wanted to go ahead and share this with you. This again is DFID for teachers. And I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything with DFID. All right, we're good. Okay, so now with our next tool that I want to share with you is called Curipod, and that is Curipod, Curipod. Okay. Now, because I am logged into my account, these are some of the things that I have created in the past for my classes. So that is what you see right now. But on the top left corner of the screen, it tells you that this account is free. So what you're about to see and explore, it is absolutely free. At this time, I am going to click on Generate Lesson with AI. And when I do that, it is asking me, what will you teach today? Now here, again, just like any other AI platform, you want to go ahead and add the topic that you're teaching. You want to be specific that you're teaching to adult ELLs, or this is a GED prep classroom, or a citizenship test prep classroom, whatever the case is. The more specific you are, the better results you're going to get. You also want to include how long of a lesson do you want this to be? Do you want this to be like an hour-long lesson or a 3-hour-long lesson? All right. And so right now what I want to do is, I guess we can stick to the topic of Thanksgiving. I haven't used Thanksgiving with CurePod before, but let's see what happens. Thanksgiving for 1 hour class. And I don't know, I'm just going to say adult ELLs, see what happens. So I put in Thanksgiving 1 hour class, adult ELLs, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on this arrow right here. I do want to say, if you're going to have it create like a 3 or 4 hour lesson, please be a little patient because it takes some time. It's going to take at least 5 to 7 minutes for it to give you a full-on lesson that is 3 hours long. Okay. So here, when I put in Thanksgiving 1 hour class, adult ELLs, it says English as a second language, adult learners, explain key Thanksgiving vocabulary, 60 minutes. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and click on generate lesson. So Guillermo in the chat box says traditions and celebrations around the world is how I would start. And that is a great way because you know what? With some of my lower level students that I've worked with in the past, they don't necessarily know what Thanksgiving is or how it works. So you can certainly start with traditions and celebrations around the world, and it will show you what other countries have, or in other countries, what are some similar Thanksgiving like celebrations that they have? So then, if you have students from Mexico or El Salvador or Brazil that are in your class, you can, before you start this lesson, you can be like, hey, so think about this specific festival that you celebrate in your country. That's what Thanksgiving is like. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to go ahead and click on Classic Curipod and just continue. You can select any of those other things, templates that you wish to. So on the left side here, it tells you, I am creating a 60-minute lesson for you. And this is the objective. And just keep in mind that it could take up to 2 to 3 minutes. The good thing with Curipod is not only will it give you slides, it also provides you with like built-in prompts and activities where you can take a pause and ask your students a question. Your students can actually take a minute to respond to the question that is appearing on the screen, or draw an image based on what is happening in the classroom. Excuse me. So these lesson plans that you're about to see are extremely interactive with Curipod. And I can't say this enough. If you are going to be creating like a 2 hour or a 3 hour lesson, give it some time because that could take up to 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. But think about it. You are going to be calling out sick tomorrow, which I might have to actually. I mean, I sound terrible. So I can have CuraPod create a lesson for me, right? It can create my slides and all these interactive activities that my substitute can go over with my students. Then I can create then my students can do their book work that I will add or let my substitute know, like, this is what they need to do. Then I can create additional packets using Diffit, right? Based on the topic that I'm going to be covering tomorrow. And last but not least, I can have ChatGPT create a formative assessment for me, or like an exit ticket for me, or a quiz for me to make sure my students actually got what they were taught, right? So this makes lesson planning so much easier. It's not even funny. All right, so the slides are starting to populate, as you can see. This is the first slide. You are at a friend's Thanksgiving dinner. The host gives you the turkey knife and says, "You carve first." You have never carved turkey before. What do you do? So the idea here is that you would share this presentation with your students. I know it's still populating, but up top on the screen, you can see it reads join at curie.live, and then it will provide you with a pin. So you ask your students to go to the link, enter the pin, and your students have access to the same exact presentation on their Chromebooks or laptops or iPads or their cell phones, whatever the case may be. And then as you progress through each slide, they are getting to see that same exact slide on their devices too. And as you can see, we've got the title slide here. We've got our objective, okay? Transition slide, Thanksgiving words, drawing. So use a diagram on the whiteboard to show your thinking. So basically here, your student can actually draw something on their end, like on their devices, and share it with the teacher. Read the passage. So there's a reading passage there. Then we have share details, which is going to be a word cloud. Then we have an open-ended question. We have additional slide with idioms and expressions. And any of my ESL teachers on this webinar right now, remember, our ESL students often struggle with making inferences, right? So this already does the work for you, so you can teach those skills in the classroom. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have our full-on presentation ready to go. Once it's completely done, I would click on the Start Lesson button here so you can see how it works, but it's still spinning, as you can see right here. So I'm waiting. But it is a full-on PowerPoint with built-in interactive activities for you. Okay. And this is just for an hour-long lesson. You can do this for a 3-hour lesson and it will provide you with the same content. And this is all with the free version. With the paid version, you have access to additional features and things like that. But what you're seeing right now is totally free. So now my lesson is ready. I can click on Start Lesson here. And this is where this is where my students could either scan the QR code or go to Cura.live and enter the PIN to join this presentation. Now, I see that some of you are already joining the presentation. That is great. If I go ahead and click on Start, this is what happens. As you can see on the teacher end, it starts out with the first slide, the activity that we had kind of gone over real quick. You can start the activity. If you want to give your students more time, if you think like some of them are still working on it, you can do that. You can add a minute. Or if they have all finished early, you can go ahead and click on End Activity, which I'm going to do for the sake of time right now. And then you can move on to the next few slides and take a pause wherever you need to. Anytime you see a timer, that means that that is a student activity. So you are to stop there, give your students some time to work on whatever the prompt or activity may be. All right, but everything is done for you here. So that was CuraPod. I am going to go back to my presentation here real quick. Oh, no, not it. What I do want to say is that we are approaching the end of our presentation here. As we are wrapping up, I just want to say, just remember AI helps you save time, right? It helps you personalize learning and stay focused on what matters the most, which is our students. So just remember that you are amplifying your teaching with AI. AI doesn't replace you. It doesn't replace any teachers. It empowers them to be even better at what they do best, which is inspiring and guiding students. And here are just a few more tips. Start small, okay? Every morning when I wake up, there's a new AI tool out there that is trending. So I recommend that you start small, try one tool, experiment a little, and build confidence over time. And think of AI as your co-teacher, not your replacement. The future of education is here, and it starts with you. All right. And when if you are going to go ahead and access the slides on the IPDAY website, just be sure to check out these resources. There are several links embedded here on the resources slide for you. So go ahead and check that out, check those out at your own leisure. And at this time, please take a moment to complete the evaluation form. We value your feedback here at IPDAY. It helps us shape future IPDAY sessions. And talking about future IPDAY sessions, please be sure to join IPDAY tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. for a wonderful webinar called From Basics to Impact, the IET Blueprint. All right. And while you're doing that, I just want to say one last thing. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, AI isn't here to replace you. I can't say that enough. It's here to be your digital sidekick. So go out there, save time, spark learning, and let AI handle the busy work while you handle the magic with your students. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Thank you again for joining me today. I appreciate your time.